Alright, hello everyone. Here we are again. My name is Disc. I've mained Discipline for a little bit over a year now, and I started making videos on this channel last week. I thought I would chronicle my adventures through Keys, giving out some tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way, or tips and tricks that I invented along the way. I want this channel to naturally evolve, and in each dungeon talk about different things based upon group composition, plays, etc. And if you have any questions about something specific, please make a comment of this and I will add it into my videos. Some potential topics would be UI or bars. I think keybinds for Discipline are super important. Add-ons. Just let me know. But this is a real treat of a group. We have a super high IO average here. Our Prot Paladin tank is actually a 3k IO Holy Paladin, so if you know anything about tanking as a Paladin, a Holy Paladin main I think is going to probably do it better than most people. And we're going to get going here in a second. Alright, we are about to get going here. I am a Schism Priest. Sue me. Based on our comp, I've already decided that the Hunter is going to be my main PI target throughout the dungeon. And to lead in here, we're doing a partial skip, relying on Priest Mind Soothe. We are Tyrannical this week, so Decia needs to go down first. I give her my Spectrometer debuff. Go ahead and dot the group. And then I atone bottom up, tank last. I go into a boon. Even though we have Bloodlust, I'm still doing a Nova Blast rotation. You'll notice everyone was completely covered there. Go ahead and roll Pain Sup, that helps me get out my dots. Honestly, that's a really great use of Pain Sup. And you'll see Rapture here. Notice how I'm utilizing my Grid 2 bars to refresh my Absorb. We're halfway through the fight now. I'm getting a little bit low mana, so I'm going to use my Fiend and Schism. Decia is almost down, but while they're all still up, I'm going to drop Barrier. That'll help get through. So my second boon is coming into rotation. I have this dot again, so I'm making sure that I'm atoned last. Heals will flood throughout the boon here. And I have the dot again. Thankfully, this Holy Prot Paladin comes in with those Words of Glory. Prot Paladin is probably my favorite tank to play with. I feel like it complements Discipline really well, being that they bring an instant heal to the party. That's one thing Discipline lacks. For now. And this fight's over. Always drink here. So this is when we notice that this is a troll group. Our mage is not in the right build. Our warrior is in his off build. But we're just going to go with it. 2800 IO mage. Forget to spec. So I don't have my barrier, which is my usual play for Varuth. I do rely on Rapture instead. You can see those shields with my bars. Precast a Radiance into Schism. Get a paint sip on myself before the attack lands. I go for the increased damage. So this was a ballsy pull. Our tank pretty much grabbed this whole gauntlet at once. I get the atonements out, thinking ahead. He gives himself a lay on hands, he needed it there. And I have to boon. PIR Hunter. I did go ahead and wall there because the whole group is relying on my successful boon. I can't die. Go ahead and barrier. Help reduce the spike damage here. Yeah, so I didn't know our route. I thought we were going to the other wing. Let's play a little catch up here. Definitely don't let that ground damage hit you. So I'm wondering what the tank is going to do. I peek through the window and notice we're doing a double. Totally fine. I atone from the bottom up, and I enter boon as quickly as I can. Get out of Radiance to recover the atonements. And everyone's topped. So I know I'm going to need another cooldown here. I'm seeing that my Shadow Fiend is available. I go ahead and pop him with a Schism. The Paladin throw out some words of glory just to pick up the stragglers. Really pro. I'm not healing here because the teleport will do that. So the purges were already out before I landed. I'll get in a Schism just for the DPS. Penance the lower target. And boon is up just in time. We also have PI. Looks like the hunter's ready. And this is when I notice the tank is really trying me. So I tone bottom up, get PI out, and I enter boon as quickly as I can. Trying to stay in melee here. cover the group with a radiance, and everyone's topped. So the tank is still trying to go big. I'm here for it, but he bit off a little bit more than he could chew. Got a few purges to help out. At this point, I'm a little panicked, to be honest. I really needed to pain sep our tank here. It would have played out totally different if he had pain sep. He would have lived. But defensively, I go ahead and start rapturing the whole group. I'm covering them with shields. I notice no one else is picking up the tank. So I swoop in for a fat priest battle res. And we're back in business. The timing of the mechanics there really played in our favor because no one was taking damage while our tank was down. Could have been worse. And I'm trying to type and about kill myself. So always hover your finger on grip on all of these platforms. It's a great way to save the day. No one in this run failed that mechanic, but it's a great way to save. Make sure I'm rolling my Dispel every 8 seconds. That dot can hurt more than almost anything. That storm almost knocked me off. And the teleport heals everybody. If you notice on our Paladin tank, he has that little white dot. That's my indicator for who's missing fort. It's a nice visual way to monitor if you need to refresh fort in the group. And here's our second boss. Shouldn't be too bad. Our DPS is high IO. They know how to do it. I do need full mana though, thanks tank. All cooldowns available. I don't mass dispel here, I just dispel one quickly and then heal the other. So damage isn't coming here, so I atone and I go ahead and roll boon. Almost never need to dispel the tank here, always pick the other person. That's a good example of grid 2 maximizing my rapture. You can see who had low absorbs there. And for this round, I'm using Schism. Fiend and Schism. Now that's pretty much all my cooldowns. This group didn't have the best single target. It was only a 22 though, so we were able to get through it just with skill. atone the targets. You'll see the Paladin was one step ahead of me on that heal. Saved me a little mana. Again, the Paladin beat me, saved me a little mana. Thanks, Cardi B. And for this damage round, I'm going to boon. I delay my Dispel a little bit because I can heal through it. Paladin came through again with a heal. Love to see it. It's actually so fun working with a Prot Paladin. They just complement Discipline perfectly. And another heal. Always favor dispelling yourself. I don't think that's selfish. You just gotta make sure you're alive. And the fun continues. Next wing. This is a great room for boon. However, it's on cooldown, so I'm thinking I'm just gonna have to kind of manually get through it. A PIR Mage here. He's the only one with a cooldown, probably the best one. I try and get dots on the elite mobs. I'm not too worried about dotting the lesser mobs. And I was already planning to go into Rapture. You'll see if I had gone into it 5 seconds sooner, that play would have been a lot more safe, but I think we still got full value there. And our tank wants to go ahead and pull this group, which isn't too demanding, but I have almost no mana. But we do have Boon, which is mana free. Atone everybody. And you'll see here, I did not Schism first. I Booned first just to get the heals rolling. It's totally fine to go into it with that rotation. Your Eruption will actually land before the Schism expires that way, so it's a completely valid way to do it. A little bit less return though when you're interrupting your boon window. So I thought we were going to sit here and he was going to pull the Tormentor, but I noticed we're not. And at this point I have to diverge from the group. Usually Fade is plenty to sneak by. Oh, I think that's what I did. Yeah, just Fade. Reduces your aggro range. I didn't need it really at that point, but I did it anyway. The best thing I can do here is probably just get my PI out. We want to get it rolling now to have it again on the boss. There's just enough time. So I give it to the warrior. I think some value's lost, but we'll have it again for boss, which is what matters. So I thought we were going to bring the big guy in, but we didn't. So I went ahead and just Nova'd these guys. It was close to a 99 stack. And I'm a little scared. Yeah, the ground damage was hitting me. I was in a bad place, panicked a little. So this guy, Rancid Gorebag, is perfect for Shadow Fiend and Schism. Kind of negates the dot with a hot. DPS as much as I can. Always feather to align yourself. You don't want to get hit by that. Went into a rapture just for some coverage. I was holding Boon. The AoE guy was still up. So you'll see here, I'm going to blame the warrior. He missed the kick, and I was one shot. Thankfully, the tank did not miss a beat to exit before the doors closed. He reset the boss and kind of saved the dungeon. So they polished those off as a team of 4, and quickly res me, and we run into Gorechop. Alright, I noticed the hunter Qs. There goes my first PI. I want to get Boon rolling for the return. I try and have my Nova hit these ads as much as possible. It's always best to Shadow Mend followed by a Power Word Shield. You'll be atoning 2 targets in the same global. It's one way to maximize your healing. I wanted to pain sup our tank before that attack. I was a little late though. Gorechop has an audible Q that you can use before those big attacks. I was just a little bit slow, but it was fine. This key's not too pressing. Nice word of glory from our Paladin to get my health up. On Tyrannical, I will definitely dot the ads here. Always relying on penance to spread my dot. Mid-fight, some of my mana's gone, so let's go ahead and Shadow Fiend Schism. Trying to get the DPS out. Yeah, so I was going to boon here, and it took me a second to realize what I did, but instead of schisming the boss, I did it on one of the little ads, so that was sad. A little bit of a loss, then I got silenced. Mainly just a loss in DPS. We didn't need the healing, but it's always good when a healer can pump DPS numbers. Alright, on to our last wing. We have Xav. Give a feather to our awesome tank, and give another feather to him. That's how you really know when you like somebody. So just like our last wing, he's playing very aggressive here. I like it, it gives me a little bit more of a challenge, but we're doing a 4-pull. Not too unheard of. Definitely don't want to pull Sagadon here though, that would ruin the pull in about 1 second. While we still have 4 ads, I'm going to boon. That'll cover that Savage Flurry. Drop Paints up here for that one. Yeah, so it's always nice to position yourself away from your team here. As a priest, right there I noticed our hunter was in a danger zone, and I kind of just gripped him to freedom. There's no global there. I'm sure he liked it. And another pretty nasty double pull here, but one's almost dead. I get out a PI because we only have one more before Xav. This is a great place to Rapture to catch that AoE damage. A better play would be to Rapture once on everyone in the group right as the attack goes off. So then you have, you know, another 3 or 4 seconds of Rapture to refresh everyone's shields. I'm spoiled with those Words of Glory. Paladin tanks OP. And I'm completely out of mana after that, so thankfully I don't engage with Sagadon at all here and just take, you know, a couple seconds to regen full mana. So I go ahead and get Schism out. I'm sorry, I go ahead and get Shadow Fiend out, and I hold the Schism until after the attack. Schism is our most damaging spell, so you can have your Shadow Fiend running, and then amp the Shadow Fiend with Schism, and also have the front end of the Schism heal that damage. Hope that made sense. Another feather to our Paladin, who I love. And this is a big skip. Yeah, I made a weak aura right there below my buttons that gives me a graphic display of the timer on the potion. I like to be able to see it like that. Oh, I do get another PI here. Went ahead and gave it to the hunter. I probably would have held it, but since he popped and he and I are synced, there's no reason for me to hold. And going right into the boss, mana is fine. So that mage wanted to talk crap on me, saying focus banner because priest. I'll show him, just watch. So I go ahead and Rapture here. I want to cover the front end of this attack. I think what the mage was saying is he doesn't think I can do DPS. In my opinion, Discipline Priest is very competitive when it comes to DPS. PI is damage that I bring to the table, but it just doesn't count on my meters, so it's hard to compare. But I do boon here. Half of our party is downstairs, and I have 2 mobs to attack. We need to get that banner down. so the mage can suck it. And we're waiting to see who's selected. We have PI to use. I cast Shadow Fiend, and I'm waiting for the attack from my Schism's front end heal. Paladin helped me out there too, that was real nice. Drop Paints up here, he does more damage. And our banner's going to die slow this time without Boon, but I do have Rapture again, so I'm going to cover the front end of this attack. And that was better timing. I was able to get one more Rapture cast out on the other side of the attack. We have all 5 of us. This thing should die just fine. So I think what I decide to do is just go ahead and Schism and Boon the boss, just to cover the healing. Got a Freedom. Paladin's really on top of his blessings. Shows his skill level. And I was playing a little greedy there. The Stomp about went off, but my Eruption was about to go off. I did not want it to miss. So I'm thinking, uh-oh, what are we going to do here? 4% on the boss, but a banner can wipe the group. So he gave me Freedom just to make sure everyone has their heals. I decide to start focusing boss again. Boss is down. Really good Paladin. Definitely want to instantly drink up here. Not missing too much mana, but I want full mana. We have this last trash pack to kill. So we left Oros up. We are slow here. Far from impossible, but you definitely have to be prioritizing your placement. This first round, you want to use Boon because you can get return with all those ads. So the hunter and myself are holding for the 50% mark. The second half of the fight is considered to be a little bit harder, so we want to push through that quicker. First half, not too pressing. Notice I'm refreshing my shields there, relying on my grid to set up. And I could have played that so much better. The shields actually fell off right before this Echoes of Carnage. That is the best place to put Rapture. I timed it a little bit off by about 5 or 6 seconds. We still made it though. So the dogs are up, but I'm in the clear. So just toss out a few smites, get some damage in. And I think that's when I noticed I completely missed PI, so gave it to our mage who has this Icy Veins in perpetuity. Yeah, I didn't really have much there, so since everyone was atoned and there was more than 4 mobs, that's one of the few times I'll ever hit Holy Nova. You get the front end of the Nova, but it also damages, which cues atonement healing, so it's kind of a double dip. Boon is always great here because you get 50% increased movement, which kind of negates that pull. And there we go. It was only a 22, but it was a pretty good run. If you look at the IO of my team, it's a pretty stacked group, pretty smooth overall. So I'm really enjoying making this channel. I hope to get some followers soon and hope to get people asking questions. I do have intentions of streaming on Twitch, but in the meantime, I think this is a really good way to start educating on Discipline. It's a spec that I think has so much potential and so much power, but people tend to hate on it because there's a lot of bad players out there. But it's not the spec. So yeah, that was a pretty smooth run. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll keep doing this throughout the weeks. We're currently in 9.1, anticipating 9.2 in the next month or so. Discipline is really going to change. We're finally going to have some nice instant heals, which will really level the playing field for our spec. And yeah, I want to get just a few videos out in the meantime before that transition, and then we'll keep going from there. So yeah, thank you everybody, and until next time, Disc out. Oh, and 3000 IO Holy Paladin said I'm sick at healing dude, so that feels great. Alright, thanks everybody.